We are about to build Frond's homepage with Thrive Architect. This is a very clean landing page, very conversion focused, that looks absolutely gorgeous, even though it doesn't really have anything truly special to it. It's a very static page that doesn't make use of any crazy decorations. In fact, what makes this page so pretty, in my opinion, is how easy it is for us to read the text and how simple the graphics are. Now, I do want to mention that I want to concentrate exclusively on the homepage itself in this video. This means that I've already designed the header and footer of the site with Thrive Theme Builder. And, I've simply powered through the Thrive Theme Builder wizard. I've made purple my primary brand color. I've uploaded Frond's logo and designed the header and footer to resemble that of the page that we're about to build. All right, if you want to follow along with me, make sure that you've signed up for Thrive Suite, and you can do that using the link in the description box. And yeah, I think we're ready to start rock and rolling this. All right, let's dive in. Perfect, so we can start building now, and as you can see, I've got a blank page opened up with Thrive Architect. I simply have front, header, and footer created here. As I said earlier, I've already created this. A quick run through how I did this is I have two main columns inside my header, one for the left-hand side of the header, which is made up of my logo, and then I have a right-hand column that contains a series of child columns as well. Okay, so I have one column for this text element, one column for this custom menu, one column for this button, and one column for this other button. Okay, so I've got 4 columns inside my right-hand column. And then I simply have my logo here in the left-hand column. And then for the footer, I simply have, again, a logo in the left-hand column and a simple menu in the right-hand column. So that would take care of our header and footer. All right, and let's start taking a look at what Frond's homepage looks like, and we'll start building. So this is what Frond's homepage looks like. We've got a very clean, minimal hero section. I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. I think it really shows off what Frond is all about, which is to quickly and easily start your own community. And it's a simple take on forums. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It works really well. And I think we can start building this. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to calculate how much space there is between my main hero heading and the header. And in this case, to do this, an easy way is to just try to take a screenshot if you're on a Mac. And I'm going to point the edge of the container, which is going to be probably this text element here. And I'm going to drag this over to the capital T here. And I can see that there is about 150 pixels of padding, of top padding, okay? So I don't need that screenshot. We can just delete this, put it in the trash can, and let's start building. All right, so I'm going to drop in a background section. And I'm going to make this have padding. So there's a couple of ways in which we can do this. We can add top and bottom padding to the hero section, or we can just make how would you call it? We can just make the hero section have a minimum height. Let's try with the minimum height first, okay? And I do want to make sure that I drop in a content box inside this background section. And here we are going to drop in the H1 heading, the easiest way to start a community. Great. So let's drag in our heading. The font that Frond is using is my favorite font in the world, which is Enter. As you can see, we're gonna make this bold. And let's paste in our H1 text. The easiest way to start a community. Let's bold this. I think we're gonna have to make it bigger though. Let's take a look here. If we inspect this page and we jump into computed, we can tell that the font size is, it's Enter 20. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the mobile version. Hold on. There you go. All right, perfect. Here, let's dock this. And we can tell that this text element is precisely font size 76 pixels. All right. So let's make this 76. Perfect. Let's align this to be in the middle. How to start a community. Now we want start to be in the following line. So let's do that. We gotta bring the line height down. That's about right. And we want to make community purple. So let's do that. Let's add in a new color. Unlike, sorry, we want to add a new one. It's going to be this one. All right, we want this 8468C6 as our main favorite color. Let's save that one. We're probably going to be reusing that purple quite a bit. And then what else do we need here? We need this subtitle, which if I'm playing it by eye, I'm going to guess it's 16 pixels big. I could be wrong, but for now, let's make that. Looks like we've got an emoji or something in there. We brought over something sketchy there. Hold on, let me try again. Let's grab this text element here, copy, let's get rid of this one. Let's try again. All right, that's better. And we want effortless to start in a new line, so let's do that. And there's a lot of line spacing here, so let's get rid of the line spacing. Perfect. That's great. And we need 2 buttons, right? 2 call to actions. Give Frond a try and schedule a call with us. So we're going to do this. We're going to drag in 2 columns underneath our text element. Great. And we're going to drag in a button. Perfect. And we want a simple purple button. So let's get rid of these paddings first and foremost. Let's make this 4, 4, 4, 4. Although this is probably, actually, let's make this 8, 8, 8, 8. And let's do get started. Let's change this to letter spacing 0. Let's make it bold. Is it get started? No, give Frond a try, sorry. Give Frond a try. I don't know if you can hear a piano in the background. There's someone playing the piano right above me. All right, let's make this purple. And I think we do need a little bit of more top and bottom padding. So let's do 16, 16, 12, and 12. Come to think of it, no, it's gonna have to be 18 all around actually. 16 and 16, that's better. All right, we're gonna duplicate this. Move this over into the right-hand column, and we're gonna do schedule a call with us. We're gonna make the text, I think it's black, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, we're gonna make it black. Let's make this black. We're gonna make the background white. Let's make this white. That's not the white that I was looking for. Okay, this is white. And we need a little bit of a border, black border. Great. This is essentially just the ghost button. And now to make sure that we align these buttons to be in the middle, we want to give our 2-column layout a maximum width. Max width. And we can probably bring this down quite a little bit. Horizontally align that to the middle. And now we just need to space things inside our hero section quite a bit, right? Add in a little bit of breathing room, which means that I think I just want to make the background section taller and align things vertically speaking. The easiest way to start a community. What does that look like? Okay, so a couple of things here that are happening. Well, that looks about right, doesn't it? I think this subtitle needs to be a little bit bigger, actually. Instead of 16, let's make it 8. Oh, this is already 18, so let's make it 22. Yeah, that's much better. I think this is already starting to look a whole lot like the one from Frond. I think we need a little bit of more border in our buttons. Let's make it 20. Let's do 20. Oh, this is only 5 pixels. Let's make it 20. Yeah, 20 is too much. Maybe, yeah, 10 is the right border. All right, perfect. And I think we're good to go now. Let's continue to work on the graphic that we got here. So here, this is I'm thinking that they're using a content box because I've inspected this page before starting recording, and I think that this is an image, okay? This graphic right here. This is a regular button that we're going to be able to build, and then this is I would imagine that it's just a simple content box that holds the image and the button. So we're going to try doing like that. I'm going to take this color, and every time I do one of these build with me, I have someone in the comment section saying, hey, how'd you build how'd you pick out the color in such an easy way? I'm using a tool available for Mac called SIP, that is S-I-P. It's SIP Color Picker, and it works really well. All right, I'm gonna drop in a content box. Whoa, let's save our work just to make sure that we don't lose it. Dragging in and dropping in a content box. We're gonna make this have 10 pixels of rounded borders, and we're gonna give it a background color. Perfect. And inside this content box, we're gonna drag in our image. Great, and the image is this one, if I'm not mistaken. It's perfect, and right above our image, we need a button. Which, come to think of it, instead of just creating over and over the same button, why don't we duplicate one of these and we put it right underneath the image? That sounds about right. Now this one has to be black, so I think this one's going to be easier to just modify really quick. Above the image, let's make the background color black. Now we will need an arrow as an icon here, so let's add in an icon to the right, and we're going to make it an arrow. Change icon. Let's look for an arrow. I think this one looks about right. Perfect. And one small thing that we need to do is on hover, we want the button to grow. So let's do that. On hover, we want the animation to be of type grow. Perfect. And I want to hit save and just preview what that looks like so far. All right, on hover, it grows. Really cool stuff. Now I want this section to be taller. And I think that instead of, come to think of it, look, here's the thing. We need some breathing space between. Yeah, I think I did a mistake here, guys. I think I want to start treating this hero section as one individual background section, and then treat the image underneath as a separate background section, because there's just way too much space in between one section and the other one, right? We've got this huge breathing room, and I just don't want to be fizzing around with negative margins. That's just going to complicate things to make this page responsive. So let's do that. Let's insert a new background section. Background section, drop it underneath the one that we're currently working on. We're going to drag this content box right inside the background section that we just inserted. Let me hit save really quick. All right, and we're going to drag this inside this background section. Perfect. Now, remember how we gave this background section a minimum height? I'm going to get rid of that minimum height now. And as you can see, the background section itself is shrinking, but it's never going to collapse because now we have content making the background actually get taller. But I do want to give this 150 pixels of top padding and 150 pixels of bottom padding. Boom. And here for this content box, if we take a look at Frond's site, we don't want any bottom padding between the content box and the image itself. So we want to come into content box and get rid of this bottom padding. And let's see if the image has, the image has some bottom margin. Let's get rid of that. Let's hit save and let's just preview what this looks like again. Oh, this is much, much better. 100% much better. I'm wondering if there's now too much breathing room. Yeah, so here with Frond, they've got this try the live demo here button showing up above the fold. So let's try to do that as well. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to decrease the bottom padding for the hero section. How much? Well, I'm guessing that 100 pixels will be just fine. Maybe not. Maybe we need to bring it up a little bit more. So if we're doing 150, ideally we want to stick to multiples of 4s. Let's do 80. May not be good enough. Let's do 64. Okay, that should be good enough. And then here, instead of 150, let's do 120. Yeah, that's much better. Much, much, much better. See what that looks like. Yeah, that's perfect. Cool. All right, let's continue to move on to the next section. So next up, we've got effortless from the start. And this is going to be a fun one. So let me grab this background color. And we're going to drag in a new background section. Great. Again, we're going to probably do 120 and 120 of top padding and bottom padding. Inside the background section, we're going to drag in a content box. And here we're going to need a 2-column layout. One for this left-hand text and icon and call to action, and then one for the image itself. Perfect. So let's drag in columns. Let's drag them in there. 2 columns. They can be exactly the same if I'm not mistaken. We're going to drag in an image to the right-hand column. And I think it's, which one is it? It is the, oh, this is my page. The one with the word illuminate. Insert. Great. And we are missing our H2 heading here above the content box. Is it above the content box? No, probably above the columns is better, right? No, it has to be outside of the actual content box because this has a background color, right? If we put the text element inside the content box, it's going to be, well, it's not going to be exactly like the one from Frond. We want this text element to be outside of the content box. Perfect. And we're going to select this, justify the text to the middle, make it an H2, and make it bold. And this is going to be effortless from the start. Great. And now we need an icon, which I couldn't, for the life of me, I couldn't grab these icons. I think they're, I don't know how they're using them. So I'm going to use emojis instead. I mean, they look very much like emojis. Anyway, so yeah, let's do, I'm going to use a content box for this. And we're going to do an text element. And check this out. If you hit in a Mac, if you press the, I don't know how you call this key. It's like the bottom left key out of all of them. It's FN, like is it final fin with a globe icon in it? That's going to trigger up your emojis. And I'm just going to look for the emoji that says lightning bold. Whoops, lightning bold. Great. And we're going to make this bigger. We're going to make it like 32. Awesome. Setup in seconds is the text element that we need. Let's get rid of the line spacing first. We're going to do setup in seconds. Setup in seconds. Let's make this an H6 maybe. Let's make it bold. Great. And we need one more text element. Excellent. This is my page. Let's try to copy and paste this really quick. And we need a call to action, create your own community. Perfect. So let's paste the text in there. And I'm going to grab this this button, drag it all the way down into this content box underneath this text element. Whoa! I did not mean to do that. Let's go back. There you go. I wanted to grab this button. There you go. Drag it right underneath this text element. Perfect. That's better. Let's align it to the left. And we want to invert the colors, right? We want to make the background color be, well, the text color, we want this to be black. And we want to make the background be white. And I did notice that this particular button, I think it has no, it doesn't have a border, but the top and bottom paddings are much, much smaller. So let's make this probably like half of what it is right now. Great, and this is create your own community. Nice. And it's not as bold. So let's grab the text element and we want to modify the font. Let's make it let's make it enter. But we can keep the regular being 400, but let's make the bold 600. There you go, that's much better. And I think that's about it. Perhaps instead of having all of this line spacing, let's get rid of it. But I think this is starting to look really cool. Let's hit save and see what this looks like. All right, here we are. Pretty cool, isn't it? We need these rounded borders here in the content box, but other than that, this is starting to look pretty cool. To make sure that it looks good. I want to vertically align this to the middle of the content box and add in rounded borders. So let's do that. We need 10 pixels of rounded borders. Be consistent with your borders, please. Let's do 10 pixels and let's align this column. Let's make this middle. Nice. And I think that we can now continue to move on. And in this case, we're going to do the same exact thing that we just did, but we're going to inverse the order of the columns. Okay, so we're going to have to put the image on the left-hand column and the text element on the right-hand column. And how do we do that? Well, it's actually rather easy. We're going to come into this content box. We're going to duplicate it, and we're going to select these columns, and we're going to do reverse column order. Boom. And here, instead of doing the lightning bolt, we're going to do a wave emoji. And I think I'm going to leave the text to be as it is. We don't have to spend too much time customizing the text. I do want to change the image. And here we're going to do, I think it's this one. Perfect. And yeah, that looks about right. We probably want a little bit of more space in between these content boxes. So instead of doing 20, let's do 4. Hold on, there should be 20. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's do 40 pixels here. Yep, that looks about right. Nice. Perfect. All right, let's hit save and let's continue. Scale font dot noise. Great. How do we do this? This is actually pretty cool. So this next section feels very much like the one that we just did, except instead of having one big content box, we've got 2 smaller ones, right? One on each side of the screen. We've got a two-column layout, and inside each column, we've got one of these grayed out content boxes. So let's try and see if we can repurpose this entire background section. In fact, let's clone the background section. And let's see if we can save a little bit of development time here by repurposing some of these sections. So instead of effortless from the start, we're going to do scale font not noise. Scale font not noise. And we do need to bring down all these paddings because we don't have as much breathing room here. And for this one, let's make this 60 as well. That looks about right. Excellent. And now we need to grab... I'm wondering if there's a way for us to... So here's the thing. Let's think about this. Let's think this through. We need a 2-column layout. This time, we need a 2-column layout that has a white background or no background since our page is white. And we need a grayed out content box in each column. All right, how do we do this? What's the best way to approach this? I guess I'm just going to insert those 2 columns. And, yeah, I guess that's about right. We're going to put them underneath the text element. I'm not using a content box. I don't think I'm going to regret not using a content box. Actually, I think I am because, look, if I don't put the columns inside a content box, it's harder for me to constrain the width of the columns, right? I want to make sure that I contain the columns inside 1200 pixels of width. So I am going to put them inside a content box. And some may argue, well, Tony, you can just assign a maximum width to the columns. I could do that, but then it makes things a little bit more complicated on mobile devices. So I'm going to just put them inside a content box. And now I need another content box that is going to be grayed out inside each of these columns. So we're going to do a grayed out content box. Let's give it a background style. It's going to be gray. And let me just take this color picker. Great. Let's make it gray. And we want to give it 10 pixels of rounded borders. Perfect. And now I'm going to take this content box. Did I put it inside a content box? Yes, I did put it inside a content box. We're going to put it inside the content box that we just created. And now I'm missing an image. Yeah, I'm missing an image. So let's drag in an image inside the content box. Why did I put the content box inside the content box? Well, I did that because now, check this out. We can just take this entire content box, which contains an image, duplicate it, and put it in the right-hand column. And that just saved us a lot of time, right? Let's change this image. And I think this one's next, isn't it? Yep, that's the one. And I do want to, hold on. Things are getting complicated here. Okay. I think I am going to have to change the text here just to make sure that these guys are smart. Check this out. These images are the same height, if I'm not mistaken, and these paragraph text are exactly the same height as well, which makes the content box be, well, these two content boxes be exactly the same height, and it makes it look really cool because they look symmetrical, right? So let's actually try using the same amount of text here, which I am actually. So there's something fishy happening here. It could be the images not being the images are actually not the same size. And I also haven't made this content box gray, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. Let's make this, whoops. Let's make this gray. Okay, let's make it have 10 pixels of rounded borders. And let's see, do we have, I feel like I could be missing a content box. Did I forget to do a content box? Yeah, I think I am missing a content box, am I not? Yeah, I forgot to put this inside a content box. Silly Tony. So I did a mistake here. So let's do this. Let's just start this column from scratch because I made a mistake here. This is good. So instead of bringing in the bottom content box, the child content box inside the content box itself, let's bring the parent content box over. Let's duplicate this one. I think I duplicated the wrong content box, and let's bring it inside. Yeah, there you go. And now we've got two symmetrical content boxes. That makes more sense. Now I do want a little bit of more space in between columns. So let's come into main options and let's do 60 pixels of gutter width. I think that looks a whole lot more like what we wanted. Perfect. Let's hit save and see what that looks like. All right. Scroll down. That looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Scale font, not noise. Looks good. Looks really clean. Oh, I gotta change that image. Perfect. So let's make this image be this one. Excellent. And I think we can just get rid of this entire content box. And this one as well, if I'm not mistaken. Great. What's next? Let's keep going. All right, we've got a little bit of a simpler content box here. This one resembles a whole lot more what we were doing earlier, right? Where we have text on the left-hand column, and then this is interesting because this section here, this graphic in the right-hand column, they're actually using text elements, and they're using emojis as well. So there's a couple of ways in which we can do this, but the way in which I would personally do this, I would probably use an image. Like I would probably design this inside either Pixelmator or Photoshop or something like that. And I would probably import this in the form of an image. I'm going to show you how to do it without using an image, but I think it's just easier to use an image. I would probably design one image for desktop and then one for mobile. But anyways, let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to do is hit save again, just in case I forgot. Scale font noise. I'm going to duplicate this section, this content box here, okay? And I'm going to drag it all the way down and put it underneath these two columns. Great. So the text that we need in the left-hand column is "and many more features." Great. And and many more features. I'm gonna get rid of this icon. They're not using an icon here. Let's get rid of that. Perfect. Excellent. And I think we gotta get rid of this line spacing. All right, and here, let's get rid of the image. And the reason why I'm telling you that it's just better to use an image is because the only way to do this by hand in the same way that they are is by using columns, right? We're gonna use, you can't use buttons, right? I mean, you can't have emojis inside buttons. So we're gonna have to use text elements. These are gonna have to be individual text elements, but we're gonna have to use 3-column layouts. To make 3-column layouts, I mean, we've got 5 rows of 3-column layouts and then 2-column layouts. It's just going to be a nightmare to make this responsive. So I would probably I would 100% just design this on Photoshop or Pixelmator or something like that. But anyways, let me just show you how I would probably start this if I were to do it by hand. So it's not impossible to design this either by hand, but it is a little bit of a pain in my opinion. So let's do this. What text elements do we have here? So we've got member roles, insights. So we're going to do member roles. Let's do members. I'm going to pick this emoji for now. Yeah, this one's fine. Okay. Member roles. Let's get rid of the line spacing. And let's actually try to get this right from the very beginning because we're going to want to duplicate all of these things. So we need the text to be bold. Let's bold this. Member roles. We need it to be justified to the middle. We need a little bit of padding. So let's do probably like 8. We're going to add in a background color to this text element. We're going to make it white. We're going to add in a little bit of border. Let's make it 10. And we need a shadow, a drop shadow. This is probably a bit too much. I'm going to bring the opacity down to 15. And I probably want the distance to be 4 and the blur to be 18. I'm playing it by eye here, okay? I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate, but that doesn't look too bad. Then I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to put it here. And see what that looks like. Right, so if we do it now, instead of member roles, let's make this shorter. Insights. Oh no, lost the emoji. Insights, so let's do classes, for example. Yeah, this magnifying glass is gonna work fine. And let's bring over messages. All right, so let's do cloud. All right, that's gonna have to do it for now. Wait. Messages. All right. I wonder if there's a, we don't have, no, that's fine. Messages, insights, member roles. I'm wondering if there is, I mean, I guess that's fine, right? I mean, it doesn't look too bad. Let's try doing this. Let's duplicate this and let's duplicate this again. Yeah, let's get rid of, made a mistake here. Let's get rid of the margins and paddings first before we duplicate these. Great, and now let's duplicate this again. But we will, all right, I do need a little bit of space there. Okay, let's make columns. So perhaps we just need like, I don't know, 16 pixels of top and bottom padding. Let's duplicate that now and one more time. And we're actually gonna do it one more time. And now let's try getting rid of one of these columns here. I mean, it doesn't look terribly bad. The problem is that when you switch over to mobile, yeah, good luck with that. I mean, it's not impossible. It's just, it doesn't look particularly great in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, we could add probably a little bit of more You know what we could do on mobile, you could probably just add in margin in between these. So for example, if we come over into this text element, layout and position, on mobile, we could have like 8 pixels of top and bottom margin. This would create a little bit of distance in between each column. It doesn't actually look too bad, does it? The problem is that it looks like just a list of features. It doesn't really come across as being a graphic. So again, we're going to leave it like that, but I would probably just design this inside Photoshop. I mean, that would probably be the best approach. Anyways, let's continue to move on. Built for communities of all kinds. This is a really nice section with all these background colors. I kind of really like it. So this is going to be a new background section. Can we repurpose any of these? Let's start from scratch. Background section. Where did it go? Did it insert it anywhere? I don't think so. Let's do background section. There you go. We're gonna do, how much space do we need? We need about 60 pixels, I would say. It's gonna do the job just fine. 60 and 60 pixels of top and bottom padding. We're gonna do a content box. Perfect. Here we shall do built for communities of all kind. I'm gonna just drag this text element, bring it down. Great. And here we need 2 columns. I'm going to put this, that I can actually stay inside the content box. It's not going to bother us too much because we're not using a background color for this content box. So let's do 2 columns. Great. Let's make the gutter width 60. And here we need content boxes, 2 of them. So if we design one the right way, we can probably just clone this. So let's bring this background color here. It's kind of blue. And you know what? This is probably just better to grab the one from above. This one, duplicate, bring it down. Here we will need another text element actually. I just don't remember how big it is. The emoji that we're using here, we want to make sure we're consistent. It is 32 pixels, okay. So we're gonna make this be, what kind of emoji are they using? It is like a pencil, more or less. So let's do a pencil. Perfect. Let's make it 32 pixels. And let's get rid of the line spacing. We wanna make this have 10 pixels of rounded borders. And we wanna give it that light blue background color. Excellent. How are our paddings looking like? That looks about right. Perhaps make them a little bit bigger, maybe like 20 pixels. Oh, it's making use of 20 pixels all around. So let's make 20 pixels of top and bottom padding, and let's make it 32 pixels of right and left hand padding. That looks fine, doesn't it? Now let's duplicate this, bring it here. And we just need to change the background color of that one particular content box. And they're not using call to actions in any of these. I would probably have one at least in one of these content boxes, but in order to stick to their design, we're just gonna get rid of them. Though, like I said, I would probably just have, in fact, Okay, that looks, no, yeah, we're gonna need a little bit of more padding above and below. Let's do 32 all around. That's better. Again, I'm using multiples of 4s all the time, just in case when the time comes to make these mobile responsive, we're going to be able to scale up and down by 4s. And it just makes our life a little bit easier when it comes to doing the math. All right, and now we need to do the same, but with a 3-column layout. So let's drag in columns underneath these columns. And they're going to be evenly distributed columns. We're going to drag this content box, duplicate it. Let's drag this one here. And we're going to drag that one there. And we're going to drag this one here. We're going to make the gutter width be 60. gutter width, I haven't explained this, I don't think, but it's just essentially the distance in between each column. And that looks about right. We just need to change the background color for each of these. Let's make this pink. Background style. Pink, great. Let's grab the next one. Kind of really like this. This section is super clean. I really like it. And there's nothing super special to it, like I said in the intro. It's just a bunch of boxes, but they're using really subtle tones of different colors, and it comes across as being super clean, super easy to read. Looks gorgeous. All right. Looking kind of neat. Perfect. I think there's too much space in between these, so let's get rid of some of this padding. Let's actually get rid of the one from below. Yeah, let's get rid of this margin. It's much better. This content, oh, these content box have margins. Let's do that. Let's get rid of these margins. Just gonna tighten the whole section up. Perfect. And let's move on. Free to start, open for all. Okay, we're almost done here. We need one more background section. All right, and this background section is gonna have a content box. Gonna actually probably just, yeah, we can probably just do that. So these two columns are inside a content. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's drag in a new content box inside the background section. But what we're going to do is we're going to take these two columns and we're going to duplicate them. And we're going to grab these ones, these new ones that we just duplicated. And the only reason why I'm dragging the ones below the ones, the original ones, is because they're closer to the section that I want to put them on. That's the only real reason. And now we just need to center these things. So it's horizontal. Horizontally align this to the middle. Same thing here. Same thing here. And here we just need to copy and paste this text. Perfect. Paste, center, duplicate, drag, boom. And we need a little bit of space. I would say probably 20 pixels of margin above and below. I have a video on our YouTube channel. If we remember, we'll probably link to it here, where I explain when I use margins and when I use paddings. It's important. Since I want to push this text element away from this one, I need to use margins. If I wanted to simply create breathing room inside this container, I would use paddings. But check out that video if you want to learn more about this topic, because it's a pretty important one when it comes to web design. All right, let's get a button. See if we can repurpose one of these. Yeah, let's get this button. And try and see if we can bring it all the way down. Put it here. It has to be green. Green. Interesting color choice. Oh, we also got to change the color of the actual content box. Let's change the background style for this. Let's make it green. And let's grab this. Perfect. And let's make this type of green. Excellent. And there's something that I'm not completely convinced about this. I think I want to make the icon, the emoji, bigger. This heading needs to be bigger. But other than that, so let's make this, instead of an H6, let's make it like an H. Is it an H5? No, probably like an H4. Yeah, more like an H4. And here, let's do an H4. And let's make this, instead of 32, let's make it 48. We're gonna make this 48. And we're gonna drag this button right here from the hero section. Let's duplicate it and put it in the right-hand column. And I think I want to get this content box, and I'm going to give it a minimum height just so that things stretch out a little bit more. So let's do like 560, 520 maybe. Yeah. And let's position things to the middle, and let's do 520 here again. And let's position things towards the middle. That's looking kind of cool. Nice. And we're on to the last section, folks. If you've made it all this far, I truly appreciate you. I hope you're learning. I'm positive you will get some cool things out of this. So this is a very clean section. It's just an H1 heading, but we can't use an H1. I mean, we're only meant to use one H1 per page. So let's drag any content box here, and let's do a regular text element, but we're gonna make it super big. Let's make it 72 pixels. And 72 pixels is probably gonna be too much actually. Give your community space to grow. Give your community space to grow. Let's bring down this line height. Let's make it 1.4. And this needs to be bold, purple. And we probably just need to give the background sections just some breathing room here. So let's do 60 and 60 here. And we are missing a call to action if I'm not mistaken. Let's grab this one, bring it down. I think it has to be purple if I'm not mistaken. Main options, align towards the left. Background style, let's get rid of that one. And let's make it purple. Is it purple? I could be making it up. No, it is purple. Give Frond a try. Nice. All right, let's hit save and see what our page looks like. Alrighty. Looking good. I like this. Looking good. Pretty clean. Pretty clean. This has me a little bit concerned, but anyways, not too terribly bad. This would look better with different emojis, of course, and different text elements, but the actual backbone looks really cool. This looks kind of really clean. And this looks kind of really clean. I'm super happy with this. I mean, we can quickly compare it with Frond's. Oh, they have a sticky header. We haven't actually taken care of that, but that's part of the header. So we're not gonna touch that on this video. But feel free to make any requests of videos that you want to watch down in the comment section. But it looks pretty much identical if I'm not mistaken. I mean, little things are gonna change. Like they're using custom icons, which look unique and they look kind of cool. But overall, it looks pretty much the same. I think this section here has a little bit of more breathing room to it. So let's actually come here into the background section, and instead of 60 pixels, let's do 120 and 120. You want to make sure that you customize your top and bottom paddings for all sections on mobile, right? Because, well, actually, it's not that bad here, but you want to, 120 pixels of top and bottom padding for the most part is a whole lot of breathing room on mobile devices. I would probably cut that down in half and make this 60 and 60. All right, let's hit save and see what that looks like again. All right, Frond, the easiest way to start a community. This grows, looking pretty cool. All of our buttons grow actually, which is kind of nice. Looks really, really fancy. I kind of really like this design. I mean, it's simple, but it's catchy. It's easy to read. It really communicates what your business is about really quickly. I love this. Pretty happy with the work that we've done today. Well, I guess that's it. I mean, it's a really clean design. We've built it entirely using Thrive Architect without writing a single line of code. It didn't take us that long. But yeah, any questions you may have, please be sure to drop them down in the comment section. And useful links in case you want to learn more about Thrive Architect and all of the great fun things that you can do with it are in the description box underneath this video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate your time, and I guess I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.